Ross Cooke, our national team winger. Ross, let's start this conversation with your rugby story. So how this story begins and where it begins.
Yeah, of course. So I was born and grew up in Lincoln, in Lincolnshire, in the Midlands of England. I started playing rugby at about the age of 5. I played all sports as a child and was really sporty. So I played football and rugby and tennis and golf and everything. But yeah, football and rugby were the main ones for me. My family were footballers, so my dad and uncle and granddad were all footballers, and so I was pushed towards playing that, but I was given an open mind and they let me play whatever sport I wanted. I was lucky enough and unlucky enough to have my dad as my coach for all the way through from 5 till 18 or 17, which was great, but maybe sometimes he was harder than me and other people, but I think I really benefited from that. And yeah, I really enjoyed getting to bond with him over that and sharing that time with him. I played for Lincoln for the juniors until the age of 17, and then in my final year of school I played for the first team for a year. And then from there I went to university in Gloucester and played for their first team for 4 years, and played for some men's senior clubs whilst I was there as well. And then after that I moved to Maidstone in Kent for a year, and then up to Scotland for 3 years with coaching as well alongside it, which is a part of my life. And then after that, just at the end of the 2020 season, I moved to Carlisle to live with my girlfriend, and now currently I'm playing for Tynedale in National 2 North.
Yeah, you said that rugby is actually your life. And we can say that it's I heard from your friends that it's your one and only passion, and they even call you rugby nose, yeah?
Yeah, a nose, yeah.
Nose, yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, so a nose is an English word for someone who loves whatever you're talking about too much. So yeah, I do get a bit of fun made of me for loving rugby too much, but to be honest, I'm fine with that. I do love rugby. It's great, and it's a big part of my life. I look forward to every Saturday when I can play, and then obviously I do it for work as well. So it's really important to me. But some people don't quite love rugby as much as me and share that passion, but it's important to me. So I think about it a lot and put a lot of time and effort into it, whether it's playing and training or whether it's watching documentaries, watching games, and yeah, I love it.
But you watch something or do something sometimes apart from rugby, like coming back for sports you were practicing where you were a kid, like tennis or golf or something?
Yeah, so I still play some other sports. I've got into road cycling a bit with my dad, and then I also play golf every now and then, and I'm constantly watching other sports. I think it's something that is sometimes overlooked, that you can gain things from other sports that I put back into rugby as well. But my girlfriend gets a bit annoyed with me sometimes because I'm always watching sport no matter what it is, whether it's cycling, football, rugby union, rugby league, the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, whatever's on, I will watch it if it's sport. Yeah.
Is she a sport lover as well, or not? Not really?
Definitely not. No, she's not. But she's getting there a bit more. So she didn't know any of the rules of rugby when we met, but now she's watched a fair share of games, and she'll be watching on Saturday online as well. So yeah.
Okay, and you said already that like rugby is also your job. So can you just briefly say, because you said already about some coaching in your career, but how is it looking now?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm just about to start a new job, which is exciting. I'm just about to be the youth development officer for Carlisle, which means I'll be going around to the local schools in the area, trying to get more people to play rugby. That job's funded by Carlisle Rugby Club, so I'll be then pushing them back towards Carlisle Rugby Club, and I'll be working with their youth section as well, with their juniors, helping them with the organisation side and also the coaching side, the hands-on coaching side as well. And it's something that I really enjoy. As I said before, I coached when I was in Scotland, and I've done it all the way through, and I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed passing on bits of information to younger players. And it's something that I hope to do for a long time as well. It's a career that I look to try to do once I've finished playing, and whilst I'm nearing the end of my playing career. I've still got a few years left, but yeah, hopefully I can continue to do it because I do really enjoy it.
But you had also like the 4-month experience of non-rugby job, like, yeah. But it also probably something that you took out from this 4 months and then put it into your work in rugby. Can you just say a few words about, because it's quite interesting and probably not really easy experience.
No, exactly. So I've just finished working at a special needs school. So this is a school that has a range of different learning disabilities and physical disabilities for the children. I was a teaching assistant there, and I really enjoyed it. So my mum was actually a special needs teacher, and so I did have some experience going in and helping her when I was younger. And my job when I was away from university was a care assistant in a mental health rehabilitation centre. So I have had some experience in it before, but dealing with it in this time has been really nice, really good. I enjoyed it. The school I was in was lovely. I loved getting to know all the kids, and the staff were really helpful. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. But yeah, there was always that thing nagging at me that I did want to get back into rugby, and it was just trying to find the right time and the right role to get back into rugby.
And looking for rugby opportunities in your work, you had also like the short hint with trying to get a job in Newcastle Falcons, yeah?
Yeah, so I've been working for Newcastle Falcons for a while, sort of on and off, just helping them with some holiday camps, with some coaching with that. And then a job role came up that was linked to Tyndale Rugby Club, who I play for, hoping to do basically a youth development job with them and coaching the youth. And I got down to the final 2, and then unfortunately they chose to choose the other guy. And one of the reasons was they decided that I would be I'd be away for too many weeks of the year away with playing for Poland. But personally, I'm fine with that. I understand the commitment, and my priorities are here in Poland playing rugby. That's one of the most important things in my life at the moment. So yeah, it was a big commitment and a big choice on my part to not want to leave that for the sake of a job, but that's how strongly I feel about this. So yeah.
Yeah. So tell us how did it started that you started to play for Poland?
So I knew that Poland have had a rugby team for a while, and actually my journey with Poland started when I was 18. I emailed the under-20s coach at the time and said, look, I'm Polish, this is why I'm Polish. I sent them the birth certificates of my grandfather, and actually I was in the country visiting some family and being a bit of a tourist, getting to know the country itself. And so I met up with a coach when I was out in Warsaw, and he then decided that I could come out and train with the under-20s and play a game at the end of a camp. So a few weeks later I went back and did that, and I loved the experience. It was great. I was the only non-Pole there, and it was fantastic getting into the culture, trying to get into the language a little bit. I'm still a long way off, and still not going great, but I'm trying. And it was my first taste of Polish rugby, and I loved it. Unfortunately, on the back of that, I didn't hear anything else. I was a bit of a late developer, so I think it was a bit early for me in my rugby career. And then, when would this have been? About 3 years ago now, so 2019, I then decided I need another shot at it. It was always in my mind that I wanted to have another shot at it, and I thought it was the right time. So I contacted the then coach, Dwayne Lindsay, and again went through the same process of explaining how I'm Polish and all of that, all of the documents that went along with it. And he said, I think they sent someone to watch a game, and decided that they'd bring me out for the game against Switzerland in March 2019. And from the moment I was there, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. It was great being with Polish people, eating Polish food. We were training in Biało, which was fantastic, an Olympic facility, seeing top-class Olympic athletes, and just feeling more Polish was fantastic, and then played the game from there, and then and the rest of the following season until COVID hit, and then had a year or more twiddling my thumbs and waiting for the next game to come. And so I've thoroughly enjoyed this season, where I could get a full season playing in a Poland shirt.
You already told what does it mean to you playing for Poland, and you showed it talking about this Newcastle Falcons job. So, but maybe tell us, how does your family react for this? Like, because we know that for you, like you said, it's the most important thing. And how about your family, your closest people?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I have one Polish grandfather. That's my connection to Poland. He came over in the war and was very Polish till the day he died. He ate gherkins with every meal, and was definitely very Polish. And even though he lived in the UK for 70 years, he never lost the accent. He didn't talk loads to my mum and uncles about Poland, and the language was never passed on, unfortunately, although my mum wished it would have. And so therefore she was growing up quite English, I was growing up very English, and because my mum obviously took my father's name and is Cooke as well, it started to dissipate a bit more and disappear. And so if when people meet me and I speak to them, spend a lot of time with people, they wouldn't know I have any Polish connection at all, which is something that I've struggled with a little bit, because obviously it is a part of me, it's part of my heritage, and it's a part of, certainly a big part of my life now. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed, is that I've really enjoyed being able to feel more Polish, because lots of the other lads with heritage in the team have that surname or have that first name or whatever it is, and that's straight away people know when they're speaking to them, they know they're Polish, and I don't have that. But I think being there and being in this experience, it really does make me feel more Polish. And I was actually speaking to my mum a couple of days ago about it, and she said that she's felt more Polish since I've been playing as well, which she's really enjoyed. She's been out to, my mum and dad have been out to at least half of the games I've played, whenever they can. It's helped our whole family get closer to Poland. My sister as well feels more Polish on the back of this, which is really important for us. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away a couple of years before I played for Poland, but when I did go out and play for the under-20s, he was incredibly proud, and it was really important to him. And my nan, although she's proper from Lincolnshire, she's barely left the county, she absolutely is very proud that I'm sort of holding that torch for my grandfather still, and it's very important. The rest of our family that live, whether they're living in Poland, we've still got family in Poznan and Wrocław and near Sochaczew as well. And then other Polish family all over the world, in Denmark, New Zealand and Australia. They all watch my games and they all watch all these videos as well, so they'll be very happy that even though we live in England and even though we don't have a Polish name, we are still Polish, or we all still feel that connection to the country. So yeah.
Good to hear that. It's really, really nice story. Tell me what it's like through all this 3 years in senior national team, and before that in under 20. What is like your best and worst memory as a player? So I think best and worst memories. One of the best memories for me is still playing that first time. I mean, the buzz of the crowd and the energy you get from it was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, we lost that game, then the next, the other best memories would be every time we've won. I mean, the main thing while we're all here is for Poland to win. So every time we win, it is really, really important, and really, really special. In terms of worst memories, I think there's, every time we lose, it's horrible. It is horrible. It's not like losing a normal club game or even finals for my club, or when I was playing for university or anything like that. It's so much more, because you know who you're representing, whether that's representing your family or representing yourself or representing the people of Poland. Or you're representing a lot of people, and that's really hard to take, and it does mean a lot. And so I'll ask about some memories that I know you have. So what about the memory of singing the anthem in front of your colleagues.
Oh yeah. So that came about because on my first cap, we were singing the national anthem, and when the camera came past me, I spent all week learning the anthem, but just had a blank and couldn't remember the next word, and it just happened to come past on my face. And they thought, stupid Englishman doesn't know the anthem. But so
before that, you had to sing it in
this
front of the team, yeah.
So then the next time,
okay.
the next time I came, they said, right, that can't happen again. So it was me, Tom, Sam, and Ed. We all had to get up in front of the team and sing the national anthem. We were allowed to have someone playing the anthem on the phone, but we couldn't look at any words. And yeah, that's a pretty nerve-wracking experience. That is. I'm not one for singing anyway, but singing in front of people who you respect and your teammates, you don't want to get it wrong. And I think they all appreciated that we were happy to put ourselves out there and happy to show how much it means to us. And I think we got a lot wrong, but I think we gave it a really good go.
Marsz, marsz do Polski, ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za twoim przewodem, szanse się narodem.
I saw the video; it was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. There were some laughs from the back of the room, but no, I mean, yeah, they did. It was a good experience.
And what about Barber Memory November? Because like most of the guys pointed you as a player who has the worst haircut. So was that the moment when you had the best haircut in your life, or?
Thank you very much. Cheers. You've been talking to Tom Fiddler, haven't you? Because
no, not to Tom this time, but it was. I can't tell you who was that.
Right. Well, Tom Fiddler's had a personal vendetta for my hair since the moment we met. So no, I'm always getting a bit of stick about my hair, but personally, I don't really mind. I mean, for my terms, there's bigger things than what we look like, and maybe it's because I love rugby too much. I concentrate on that and not spending lots of money on my haircut or tattoos or the clothes or whatever. So, but no, the barber experience in Gdansk and before the Germany game was brilliant. Obviously, we're doing it for charity, which is really important, and it was a good thing to do. But yeah, I had a bit of a beard at the time, a bit like this, and then cutting it right down into a moustache with the old twirly bits was great. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, got a few plaudits then, which was interesting for me. Yeah,
you look like just classic Polish aristocrat from like 200 years ago, 300 years ago. So,
yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to look like. That's what I said. Yeah.
And another thing that I've learned from your friends, your teammates, is that you like to make jokes,
right?
But your banter is notoriously really bad. So how is it? Is that true?
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I do like to make jokes, and yeah, my girlfriend says the same to me at home. Says that I make dad jokes. So in Britain, they're jokes that aren't necessarily that funny, but I don't have a child yet, so they can't quite be dad jokes. But I'm ready for it. So
okay, but to make it nice and just close the topic nicely. Same time, all the guys have the opinion that you are the nicest guy you can meet in your life, the nicest player. So, according to that, how is it coming that this nice guy disappears on the pitch? Are you becoming some kind of Mr. Hyde or something?
No, I think that is part of it. Obviously, I try to be nice to people, and I think it's really important in a squad environment like this, especially. Look, and these camps are hard. They're hard work. We train a lot. We train twice a day, and it's tough physical work where you've got to try to get on. You're with each other 24/7, so you've got to try and get on. And I think that's quite important. But in terms of then getting on the pitch and being a different person, I think we all do that, and I think we all have to do that to a certain degree. I'm maybe still a little bit less aggressive than a couple of the other guys, especially some of the forwards, but look, that's my job. My job's slightly different to theirs. So yeah, there is a bit of a switch you have to flick, but it's just about knowing what to do at the right time, isn't it?
Sure. You said also we were talking here about your coaching career as well. Your perspective as a coach, as a player, what builds the professional player? Like, what is the most important to name yourself professional?
I think having played with players who have then gone on to be fully professional and coach players that are on the way to being professional, I think a lot of it is mindset. Yes, they'll have some natural gifts, whether they'll be physical or technical gifts, but the mindset's massively important, because if that player's not going to wake up every day and try their hardest and try to get better, then it's not really important. You can be the most gifted person in the world, but you're not going to get better, you're not going to get good enough. Everyone's trying to be, or loads of people are trying to be rugby players and trying to be professional. So I think it's the mindset really that sets people apart. Being able to listen and being able to pick up skills and change and learn every session and every day is the most important thing.
So, like, is it possible to be like professional and being same time amateur?
I would say yes. Yes, I think so, because obviously, I think as I sort of said, that being a professional is sort of the way your outlook is, and so I think in some ways we're sort of proof of that. We've all got jobs, or the vast majority of us have other jobs and away from rugby or away from rugby playing, and so when we come here, we try to be as professional as we can. We try to eat the right things, recover in the right way, and train in a professional manner at the time, and so I think in that sense we have to wear both those caps and be both those people. So yeah.
And you had the opportunity to also play in Polish league, in Ekstraliga, in Sparta Jarocin. So how do you rate our domestic league, and how do you rate the Polish rugby here in Poland?
Yeah, I think it's good. I went to Sparta Jarocin for a month in September, October of 2020, and they'd just got promoted to the Ekstraliga for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the town was lovely, the people were so welcoming, and the one thing that really stuck with me is how much they love rugby, and they really, really enjoy it. They can tell they fight for it on the pitch, and they do want to get better and want to learn, which I thought was brilliant. In some other parts of the world, it's something that's taken for granted, but being in a country where at the moment it's a minority sport, it's brilliant to see how much love they have for the game. In terms of the playing standard of the league itself, I think parts of it's really good. There's some really good players and there's some really good teams, and then there's a bit of a gulf where there are still people that are improving, which is necessary and important, but that's always going to happen in a place where there's a smaller player base than some of the other countries that I've played in. But it's all about trying to improve and trying to then see where we can progress as Poland and as Polish rugby, and how we can get better from there. And I think we're definitely moving in the right way. And I think hopefully, whether it's with our performances on the pitch in a Poland shirt, or whether it's the videos like this and videos like you guys are putting out, is really important to spread that word of rugby. And then also with the more exposure we can get, and we can spread it out on the ground as well, I think it's getting to be in a good place, which is exciting. So,
talking about just also developing Polish rugby, what do you think? What path should Polish rugby follow to be even better, like in total, not only in terms of national team, but just from your players and coaching perspective?
I think it's hard to say that there's one path to follow. I think there's going to be a variety of different factors that will play to it. I think one thing is trying to broaden the width of the amount of information we're getting. So I think in Poland, from what I know, obviously I don't know loads about Polish rugby. I've learned my little bit in the time that I've been here, but compared to lots of other people, I don't know a lot in Polish rugby. But I think it's something that we need to try to broaden the information that we're getting. So get different coaches from different places, whether they're just coming in for a little bit and speaking to us, or whether we can do that over Zoom and spread the word and spread sort of the information that coaches are getting and players are getting, so therefore they can get new ideas, get some different ideas. I mean, professional rugby union is a really young sport. It's only 30 years old. And so the sport itself is still changing. They're still bringing new rules in. They're still bringing new ideas and new ways of playing the game that are working and aren't working, which is really exciting. And that's something that I like about the sport. There's so many different ways to play this game that makes it so interesting that you can have teams with such disparity being able to play the same sport, and on one day one can win and on one day another can win. That's really interesting. But I think in Poland we need to get more of these ideas in, and rather than just having this is the way that we play rugby, we need to get more of that, of yeah, we can do this, but also we could do this. And I think when we get to a position like that, I think we'll get more intelligent rugby players that will be more comfortable with playing in different styles, and that will send Polish rugby through the roof, I really think.
Of course, you're involved as a player now, but will you consider like involving also in coaching in the future, like when you in Poland?
Are you offering me a job?
Not yet, maybe, but I'm just asking. You know, like when you finish your rugby career one day as a player, and maybe like it will be good also to be involved in a Polish rugby.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. Obviously, I've talked a lot about how much I love rugby, and I've talked a lot about how much I love Poland. So if I could marry those two together and help young players and help Poland improve as a rugby nation, whether that's at the top level or a lower level, I'd really enjoy to do it. So long as it can fit in with my sort of personal life. Obviously, I make a lot of sacrifices now to play, and it's not just me, it's my family that makes sacrifices, and obviously my girlfriend especially, that makes a lot of sacrifices for me to play and me to take time away to do this. And if it can fit in with my personal life, then yeah, 100%. I would absolutely love to help Poland and help coach Poland in whatever way it would be. Yeah.
So I hope we will have opportunity to talk in coming years more and more
Hopefully.
About rugby.
I'd love to, yeah. Always have a chat about rugby, yeah.
Thank you very much, Ross.
Thank you. Dziękuję bardzo.